my name is Wanda. I am the owner of Adar's Indoor Plant Specialists, and I have been selling a lot of these pots, and I thought I would do a training in case anyone had questions. So these pots are self-watering pots. They have a reservoir at the bottom that holds water, and they have little feet inside that go and touch the water, suck it up, wick it up into the soil, and then it distributes throughout the rest of the soil. So what you do is you use the little gauge to tell you how much water is in the reservoir, so you don't have the plant sitting in water. So I'm hoping I'm in the video. This system uses a tube. Right there is the tube. And the items that go in the tube are, this is just a styrofoam blob. This is just a long plastic red thingy. This is the lid. And then there's another little lid right here. You already all put together, but this is in the bottom. This red thing just stabs into it, and then you make sure this is nice and straight. So that's your gauge. Now it goes down in the tube, and what can happen is if soil gets in the tube, it can sometimes wedge between the side of the tube and the styrofoam, and that will make it not rise properly. And also sometimes static electricity will make the plastic kind of touch the side of the tube, and that will make it not raise properly. So I wanted to, if you feel like you have plenty of water in there and the gauge is not rising, I wanted to show you what to do. So this guy, he goes inside this hole, drops down in there. Now right now, it feels like I have a little bit of water in there, so what'll happen when you have water is when you push it down, it'll pop back up. So the way this is put together is, and let me show you this as well. So when you're, let's see if I can figure this out. When you're putting this in the tube, if you just slap the top on, a lot of times it will go through the wrong hole. So it's easier if you put it through the hole first, put it through the center, and then put it inside the tube. And then just screw it on, push it down. So when this is on properly and the reservoir is empty, as this one is, you're not going to see that red at all. So when you add water to it, you'll see the red. So this little guy, that's just the lid. It's not really necessary. When you water your plant, you can water the soil. That's fine. You can water inside the tube. That's fine as well. Just be aware that if you water the soil, there it goes. So it was just reacting to me putting water in there. If you water the soil, it may take a while for it to trickle down to the base and raise this up. Now this guy is full when this is about a ½ inch up. So if you have it, if you feel it somewhere before it's touching the top of this, you should be fine. I think it works best if you, based on what plant you have, but usually if you go ahead and let the soil dry out pretty well between waterings, that works nicely for most plants. But this is, I would call this full. I would not add more water to this right now. So you can see if I push this down, it pops back up. That's because the styrofoam is in there working. So now if you feel like, geez, this is really heavy, I put a ton of water in there, it's not raising up, then the way to get this off is to hold the tube with one hand and twist the top off with the other. I'm just going to twist because I'm using one hand to hold the camera and I didn't put it on too tight. But twist it off. Come on. There we go. Because if you accidentally pull the tube up, the hole is going to fill with soil and that's going to make it harder. So that's how you use these guys. Now, say you realize that you way overwatered this and you put the lid in you and you don't like, this is not moving. Say there's some soil in there and it makes it not move. So you take this lid off. The first thing I do after that is I lift this up to see if there's any soil in there, and you just clean it off if there is, and you can tell, just stick it down in the hole. If you can hear or see anything or look in the hole, you can tell if there's soil in there. So if this happens to be way over full, there is not a drainage valve on these guys. You actually have to siphon it out. So you would have to get a tube, put it down into the soil. I typically will fill it up with water, put it in the soil, and then put the other end lower than the bottom of the pot, and it will siphon out. So that's a whole other thing. Hopefully you know how to siphon. If not, you can always text me and I can help you out. So this goes in here like this. And if you have problems, you can take the lid off, this off, and then take it out of there and check and see what's going on. Okay, that's how you use these. They are Lamela Self-Watering pots. Thank you.